He's trying to get a mic check from somebody. Is it me? I got to turn you up a little bit. Thank you, Tim.
1 2 1 2. Is he working on me now?
I hear you.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WTVN News Leader Now. Sponsored by Montlick & Associates, Columbus Injury Attorneys.
11 animals are at risk of losing their life. We'll tell you where and how you can help straight ahead.
And a community mourning the death of an elderly woman brutally beaten in Meriwether County.
And today we're learning how you can help the family who have started planning a funeral.
Plus, Georgia lawmakers meet in Columbus to discuss how Fort Benning can be more essential to the government. We'll dive into how they're trying to dodge hits from military downsizing.
And 91 right now in the Fountain City, but not a lot in the way of rain out there today. Will that trend continue? Your forecast is coming up.
Good evening. Welcome to News Leader 9 at 5. I'm Barbara Goche.
And I'm Jason Dennis. Thanks for joining us tonight. All new at 5. Close to a dozen animals at a local shelter are at risk of being euthanized if they are not adopted by this Friday. The Heard County Animal Control Center, about 60 miles north of Columbus, is undergoing major renovations and need your help to save these animals' lives. Our Andrew McDevitt is live from Heard County. So, Andrew, tell us more about these animals and specifically the renovations.
Well, Jason, I promise you this, if you make the hour trip up to Heard County and come to the shelter, you will not leave without a four-legged friend. The animals are absolutely awesome. They have 2 dogs and 9 cats still available. But as you mentioned, they are undergoing major renovations, mostly on the floors, because of the risk factors that these floors have for carrying diseases.
The floor is bare concrete. It harbors diseases. Our animals that come in, you don't know where they've been, you don't know what they've come in contact with.
The 10-year-old building has concrete floors that have lost their seal, making diseases, specifically parvo disease that can be terminal, very easy for animals to transmit. If these 11 animals don't find homes by Friday, it will force the Heard County Animal Control Center to euthanize the animals, something they very rarely do.
It's been over a couple of years. The only time we have to put down is like if we have an aggressive dog that there's no way you can give them to anybody. Dogs with broken backs or animals that are very, very, very sick.
But fortunately, through social media, they have adopted out most of their animals. 12 dogs yesterday, and we were here for what they call a freedom run earlier today, thanks in part to another shelter.
It hit my heart, it hit home. I don't like to see anybody struggling, especially these animals, and I want them to be able to make their facility better.
Missing Room was thrilled to see 6 puppies and their mother leave this afternoon with the Georgia SPCA, but she's still desperate to find homes for the 2 dogs and 9 cats that they have left.
You don't know what you're missing. These animals are absolutely love bugs. They can show you so much love and affection, and they love you no matter what.
Now, after these renovations are complete, which could take anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks, the Heard County Animal Control Center is hoping to secure funds for an additional building alongside this one that would more than double the capacity of animals that they can intake. Now, if you'd like more information on how you can help, you can head to our website, WTVM.com, and we'll have a couple of pictures of the 2 dogs and 9 cats that they still have available that need to be adopted out by Friday. That's very important. Reporting in Heard County, I'm Andrew McDevitt for News Leader 9. Jason and Barbara will send it back to you guys in Columbus.
We'll keep everybody updated on these animals. All right, thank you, Andrew.
Well, a second trial could be coming for a Columbus man found guilty of murder. A hearing was held in Superior Court this morning for Calvin Denson. A judge says he is not ready to announce if a new trial will be granted. Denson was convicted of the murder and armed robbery of Julian Hernandez 5 years ago at the Plaza Motel on Victory Drive. Denson was given a life sentence.
A Meriwether County community continues to mourn the death of the elderly woman who was beaten and set on fire. And according to the Newman Times-Herald, the family is asking for all donations to be made to the Grady Hospital burn unit where she was being treated. We're told funeral arrangements are being made right now for Dorothy Dow, who died from her injuries over the weekend.
Murder charges are being brought against 4 of the 5 people accused of attacking her in her home August 4th. Angel Harmon, Cortavius Hurd, Justin Grady, and Mina Ellery reportedly knew Dow from working on her property. Right now, a court date has not been set for the suspects.
Turning now to our weather, some scattered storms moving through some of our areas today, but who's going to see rain and who may stay dry?
It certainly looks pretty out there right this minute as we take a live look from outside the National Infantry Museum. Chief Meteorologist Derek Kincaid is here now in the Storm Team 9 Alert Center with more on what we can expect tonight.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, like yesterday, here you see that scattering of showers and storms. Not everybody getting wet. In fact, the view outside from the National Infantry Museum, fantastic. Columbus also dry. North from there, pretty dry as well, all the way up to LaGrange, to Auburn, to Alexander City, to parts of Chambers County, too. But we are watching some scattered areas of stormy weather down here near Eufaula, getting wet right now on the north and west side of town. That rain and stormy weather moving off to the west, so it should be moving out of the Eufaula area here fairly soon. And that's been the trend over the last few days. Showers and storms moving from east to west out there. We'll see that continue till about sunset, and the storms will lose a bit of their punch. They'll lose their strength, and we'll see dry conditions through the overnight hours. Right now, 91 in Columbus, 90 in Macon. Hot over in Montgomery, they have 93 degrees, so if you're not getting wet, likely pretty warm out there. Don't forget, you can always get the hour-by-hour breakdown of the forecast here over on the WTVM weather app. A great thing to have around as we get ready for the big Labor Day weekend, and we'll talk more about that forecast later in the show, guys.
All right, Derek, thank you. Military downsizing and looming consolidation of bases is prompting Georgia lawmakers to be proactive and make Fort Benning, along with other military installations in the Peach State, even less expendable and more functional. All new at 5 tonight, our Emily Arroyo joins us live outside the National Infantry Museum, where U.S. Senator Johnny Isakson and Congressman Sanford Bishop, both of Georgia, were among those brainstorming this morning. So, Emily, what did we learn today?
Well, Barbara, lawmakers say that we've definitely felt the hits of downsizing in our area, but if we want to prevent even more hits to our economy, we have to play on our area's strengths. Today, Georgia Military Affairs Committee members met to discuss what growth is in store for the Maneuver Center of Excellence. In attendance was Post Commander Major General Eric Wesley, along with a slew of other representatives. Leaders with the Georgia Chamber of Commerce also addressed the group, addressing the threat of military cuts and how Columbus can prepare for growth or more downsizing.
It goes as far as making sure an airfield is prepared for a mission, to also making sure our school system is providing the level of education for our soldiers' children. So it's a combination, big process, but at the end of it ought to be that how do we make Fort Benning continue to add value both in the national defense perspective and economically to our region.
Marketing Kelly Hill and the extensive tank trails on Post are just 2 ways lawmakers say Benning can grow and provide more resources to the Department of Defense. And while there is room to grow, lawmakers believe that Fort Benning and other posts are making the best of what they can with the budget restrictions currently in place. Barbara.
And I know you also spoke with Senator Isakson, who has been vocal about building the military back up. What did he tell you about that today?
He's resonated the same sentiments. He wants to see the military build back up and be aggressive with ISIL, and we'll have more of his reaction coming up on the news at 6. Barbara.
All right, Emily, thank you. And the stop is second of a 3-day stop for this committee. They stopped in Albany at the Welcome Center on Monday. Tomorrow, the committee will visit the Robins Air Force Base in Warner Robins. The event starts at 3 p.m.
A ceremony taking place today to announce a new scholarship that could help students in Muskogee County. The Craig family says they're creating a scholarship in honor of Jeanette and Eugene Craig. They are 2 longtime educators for the Muskogee County School District. The scholarship will use several factors to decide who gets the award, from financial needs to character. Mike Craig says this is something his parents would be proud of.
Education meant everything to my mom and dad. We just wanted to do something. Our mother loved her job. My dad loved his job. And I think besides the 70 years they put in, I think that wasn't enough.
The executive committees.
The first person to get the scholarship will be in the spring of 2017.
Well, we are just days away from the kickoff of college football, and WTVM is your place to be to catch all the action. Take a look at Saturday's game day lineup that you'll only catch right here on News Leader 9. Starting at noon, the Oklahoma Sooners will take on the Houston Cougars in Texas. Then at 3 p.m. Eastern, all eyes will be on the LSU Tigers as they battle it out with the Wisconsin Badgers. Saturday night at 8, the USC Trojans will go up against Alabama's Crimson Tide in Arlington, Texas. So be sure to stick around following the USC-Alabama game for a special edition of Sports Overtime right here on News Leader 9 at 11.
Well, football season's here, and so is the dangers of concussions for high school athletes in soccer and other sports. Hear from a local doctor on how to treat it and prevent re-injury.
When it's said and done, a building on Auburn's campus will look a whole lot different. We'll tell you about a major renovation coming to campus soon.
And here's to check your Colony Bank fish and game forecast as we take you to the commercial break. A look ahead to Wednesday there. We'll talk weather for Wednesday and also, of course, weather for the big Labor Day weekend. Some big changes to tell you about right after the commercial break.
And speaking of the holiday, WTVM and Bounce TV will air a benefit concert for the flood victims in Baton Rouge on Labor Day. It will air on WTVM and Bounce TV, channel 9.2, Monday, September 5th from 8 until 10 p.m. Eastern Time.
Special guest Harry Connick Jr. will host the concert alongside Randy Jackson of American Idol fame. Program note for you, though, the episode of ABC's Bachelor in Paradise that would normally air at that time will be shown immediately following Nightline September 5th, so be sure to set your DVR.
your Storm Team 9 Alert Center, WTVM Chief Meteorologist Derek Kincaid.
Well, check this out. Some cool video coming into the newsroom today. This is actually from last Sunday in Columbus, Ohio. What you're looking at is a time lapse of what Midtown Columbus dealt with about a month or so ago, that microburst. So watch the rain falling out of the cloud there. You see the wind as well. Once it hits the ground, it starts to spread out in all directions. So that is a time lapse of the exact same thing we dealt with here in Midtown about a month or so ago. Cool view there of a microburst caught on tape up in Columbus, Ohio. Very, very heavy rain, and of course the high winds that go along with that. So let's talk weather around here. Thankfully, nothing like that in our forecast. We've got more of the same, really. These showers and storms, which we deal with in the afternoon and evening, about a 20 to 30% coverage through Saturday. We're also still watching Tropical Depression number 9. It hasn't strengthened, but the track has shifted a little bit. We're going to show you that in a moment. And then as we look ahead to Labor Day weekend, drier weather back in here and lower humidity. That is going to be fantastic for us as we head on into Labor Day. So let's talk about the weather right now. First, the radar showing that scattering of showers and storms. We'll start you back over here in Schley County. Rain just to the north of the city of Ellaville along Highway 19. That is pushing off to the west. So that's heading toward Buena Vista now in Marion County. So it heads up there. No lightning or thunder showing up with this, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case maybe here in a little bit. These storms, of course, can strengthen pretty quickly this time of year. Lots of energy out there today with the warm, moist air that's in place. On the Alabama side of the river, we're looking at Barber County now. Here's the city of Eufaula, up and down 431, some showers, but the heaviest rain is shifted west of 431, and it's moving west through parts of Barber County. So heads up for you in Clayton, heads up for you in Bullitt County too. If this stuff holds together, you could get some rain maybe within the next 30 minutes to an hour. And that's been the trend today. The showers moving from east to west out there, just like yesterday. And I think the radar view is going to look pretty similar to this over the next couple of days. Now, if you're not getting wet, you're staying pretty warm. Right now, 91 at the Columbus Airport, 88 down in Phoenix City, 91 in Smith Station, Pine Mountain 93, Talbotton at 89 degrees. And we're looking at other spots in the 80s and low 90s out there in most places. Eufaula, 83, one of the cooler spots with that nearby shower in place. So let's break down the next few days for you. We're going to highlight Thursday and Friday with a 30% coverage of rain. Those should be the days that we stand the best chance of getting wet. Then heading into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, drier weather moves in, and it's going to make for a pleasant end to our Labor Day weekend. Here's the latest track on Tropical Depression number 9. You see it coming up the East Coast and really out of our hair by Friday or Saturday, but we'll zoom in a little closer here and show you this track has shifted a little bit further up toward us, and that means by Thursday afternoon this will make landfall and then move quickly to the north and east after that by Friday afternoon. So yes, we could see a few effects from this, including breezy conditions and some rain, but nothing on the major side of things. Quick check of our forecast tonight. Mostly clear skies. Temperatures once again down in the 70s out there. Columbus 73, Pittsview at 72. A bit breezy as well as we take you through the overnight hours. Then highs tomorrow will top out in the 90s again. Another hot day, but a shower or storm not out of the question. The coverage about the same as it was today. A hit or miss 20% risk of a shower or thunderstorm. And over the next 9 days here, we can get you ready for Labor Day weekend with that drier air, lower humidity, some comfortable mornings coming up too with lows in the 60s Monday and Tuesday morning.
That does sound good.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that drier air. This is
Big
a word we don't
change.
hear a lot in the summertime.
Right, and a huge change from what it's been like lately. We're all going to, I think, really notice it and really like it.
It is so interesting that Columbus, Ohio saw the same thing that we saw here, that microburst in Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah, they're not an uncommon thing,
Yeah.
but we don't get great video of them from that very often. So really cool to see that.
All right, thank you, Derek.
Yeah.
All right, to your voice, your vote tonight. Donald Trump getting ready for 2 big campaign events happening this week. Tonight, Trump will be in Washington State. Tomorrow, he is set to deliver a speech on his immigration policy. Some are saying he is unsure about what stance he wants to take on this issue. Also happening over the Labor Day weekend, Trump will visit Detroit in an effort to reach out to African-American voters. Trump's campaign has tried to focus on reaching out to all voters since new members were introduced earlier this month. One of those issues has a former presidential candidate speaking out.
Well, I've consistently said that that's not, I don't think that's a realistic approach. Sure, not, I mean, you don't need to have a wall across the entire border, but key sectors of the border, absolutely you need a wall.
Marco Rubio has said he disagrees with Trump on a number of issues, but disagrees with Hillary on everything.
Meantime, law enforcement sources say the FBI could publicly release its report on the Hillary Clinton email investigation as early as tomorrow as she continues to campaign. FBI Director James Comey has maintained Clinton will not face charges for the use of her private email server. The agency will also release notes of their interview with Clinton. Not yet being released are additional notes of interviews involving Clinton aides or other materials sent to Congress. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton's next public appearance will be at the September 26th presidential debate.
Well, concussions among athletes, especially football players, has been under the microscope recently. Head injuries with long-lasting effects have caused football leagues to change the rules to help keep players safe.
We spoke with Chief of Neurology at St. Francis Hospital, Dr. Nojan Valadi, about the ongoing problem and how coaches can help protect players off the field.
25% of concussions are oftentimes misdiagnosed or underdiagnosed. Players and coaches or even parents encourage an under-embellishment, a kind of downplaying of the symptoms so that the athlete, oftentimes a star athlete, is reinserted back into the game for the success of the program or the success of the player themselves. And
there are a variety of symptoms for concussions that could last for months and even years.
Coming up on our news at 5:30, Roslyn Giles talks about the symptoms and treatment for head injuries on the field.
A Georgia-based company looking to replenish all of the water it uses to make its products.
Today, why it reached its goal years before it had planned.
Well, the first 2 weeks of the high school football season saw some great matchups and great ball games, but all that has been a warm-up. This is the week it all gets real as region play gets underway for a baker's dozen of area squads. Headlining is Auburn at Central in our Sports Overtime Game of the Week. The Auburn Tigers split their first 2 games of the season, losing last week to Opelika 28-0 after winning their opener in wild fashion. Brooks Fuller to Garrett Moore's 37-yard TD with 58 seconds to go to give the Tigers a 17-14 victory over Carver of Montgomery.
Now the Central Red Devils also splitting their first 2 games, falling in the opener to Hoover 23-7 in a game interrupted by a lightning delay, then taking out their frustrations on Fairfield Prep last week, a 36-0 drubbing. Friday night matters as 7A Region 3 play gets underway. Kickoff set for 8 Eastern, 7 Central at Garrett Harrison Stadium in Phoenix City, and we will be there. If you're looking for a job, an upcoming job fair is looking for veterans and students, among others, to fill jobs. Unemployment Eliminators is set to host a fair on Wednesday, September 14th. It will be at the Columbus Convention and Trade Center from 10 in the morning until 2 that afternoon. Job seekers will have the opportunity to meet with employers that they might not be able to have access to in any other way. The fair is free and open to the public.
Well, the Labor Day weekend may be the best time for you to travel in more than a decade. AAA now saying if current trends remain, gas prices for the holiday should be at their lowest since 2004. The average price around the nation was up 6 cents from a week ago, but still 27 cents lower than last year. Average prices in Georgia were $2.16 a gallon last week. In Alabama, the price is $1.98 per gallon.
And a few closures taking place for the Labor Day holiday in Columbus. All waste and recycling will not be picked up on Monday. If your waste is normally picked up on that day, it will be instead picked up on Wednesday next week. Parks and recreation facilities will be open, but the administrative office will be closed. There will also be no Metro bus service on Labor Day next Monday. For a full list of closures, just go to our website, WTVM.com, and look under the local tab.
Auburn University set to host a groundbreaking ceremony for its newest renovated building. This is a look at what the building will look like when it's all done. The ceremony to take place on Saturday will celebrate the renovation of a textile building, which has been renamed the Gavin Engineering Research Laboratory. Thanks to $8 million donated, the project will include the renovation of the Gavin Laboratory operated by the university's College of Engineering.
And it's a first for Atlanta-based Coca-Cola. The company says it has exceeded its goal to replenish all the water it uses to make drinks. Coca-Cola says last year it gave more than 190 billion liters of water back to communities and nature.
That's about 115% of the amount of water it uses to make its products. The company had announced the goal of replenishing all the water it used in its drinks by 2020, but has already reached that goal.
Oh, well, that's very nice.
That's a good goal.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Giving back the water.
And reaching it 4 years early.
The sugar they're going to keep, though.
That's right, exactly. Lots of money, yeah, as well. We'll back with more late-breaking headlines in just a few minutes.
The news at 5:30 coming up next. We'll tell you about a lawsuit from a group in Georgia being filed against the USA gymnastics team. That's straight ahead.